Welcome back for the second segment of the January 13th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
Let's get back to the action with a third race from January 8th. We're going to take a look at a few different horses in here. The 5 El Tamborito is going to blow the break, the 4 Coach Gravy, and the 1 African Diamond also we're looking at. And I think the key here for El Tamborito is that we both think that he's on the downside, and just because he stumbled at the start here, he's probably going to take some money next time out. There's Coach Gravy, the 4, and down toward the inside, African Diamond will play the race and show you kind of how it develops here. It's going to be Baton Rouge, the 3 horse, and the 4 Coach Gravy going for the lead. African Diamond's going to sit a Candy Trip in behind him, and El Tamborito is going to be farther back in here, but with his connections, El Tamborito, trained by Tony Dutcher, he's going to take money next time out again.
I'm always happy when I see El Tamborito in the entries because I know that there's a favorite that I can bet against, and he seems to usually deliver on the negative end. I don't know what the fascination was with El Tamborito, a horse who, and we were talking about the other time he ran it, I don't think he's ever run a Beyer figure of over 83. He's always running in fields where other horses have the same numbers, yet somehow he ends up less than 2-1, if not lower, in all his races, and just isn't that good. I think he's getting left here at the start here is a real negative sign for him, because I think that's a sign of a horse that's just not particularly happy racing, and I won't be surprised to see him dropping down again, really much farther, and I'll bet against him again.
Now up front, we'll take a look at the pace battle developing here, or has been developing, taking part between Baton Rouge and Coach Gravy. Coming into this race, I had some question marks on Coach Gravy. He was trained by Mike Maker. His last bunch of races have been over synthetics out in Kentucky. I didn't really know where he stood up against the rest of this field, but I think all in all, when you see the finish of this race, Coach Gravy ran well. I think next time out, with his early speed, he could be a big factor in some races on the inner track, and you see the 1 African Diamond. I don't want to knock him. He did run well here, but still getting a perfect trip all the way around the track.
Oh, no doubt. He drew the rail, and the race set up well for him, and it's true. The dynamics could be different next time, and he might be a horse that looks a little better than he is. I mean, he's okay, but I agree. He had a very, very sweet trip. I think there's a couple of ways to go with the 4 horse in this race, Coach Gravy, and that you could say, well, he was the one sort of disputing the pace, and the pace fell apart, but I don't really know if that's the case. But I would agree. I'm not just sure if Baton Rouge didn't just collapse in here.
No, Baton Rouge definitely collapsed, but I like how Coach Gravy goes on with it here, despite the 1 African Diamond getting the perfect trip. Coach Gravy, fights, gives it all he can. And obviously, African Diamond's going to get away from him late and win by 4 lengths, but he's clearly second best in here. General Edwin getting up for 3rd, and El Tamborito 4th with Ramon Dominguez aboard. Don't know if Ramon will be on him next time out, but certainly don't want El Tamborito moving forward. African Diamond's okay. He's the kind of horse that's tactical and puts himself in good spots like that, and got a good ride there from Rosie Napravnik. But of all of them, I think I want Coach Gravy next time.
Yeah, I know I want El Tamborito, but I'm looking to get a bet against African Diamond, assuming he's in a position where he's not so easily going to get a perfect trip. And it's good to not assume that horses are going to get perfect trips. But drawing the rail in there and all things, I think he does come out of that race a little bit dressed up.
All right, let's move on to our second race of this segment. We'll take a look at Executive Search Meeting. Basically a field of horses he met a couple starts back, and the only exception here is Stud Muffin, and we'll take a look at Executive Search, who's the 4 horse in here.
Yeah, Executive Search is more effective around 2 turns. I think this is clear after his win a couple races back, and what should have been a win in this race. And no knock on Stud Muffin, who's a nice horse, neat horse. Nice to see him in the winner's circle, but Executive Search would have beaten him. Angel Serpa, who rode Executive Search, is a terrific apprentice, and I don't want to be harsh on him. I mean, I think he's one of the best apprentices I've seen in a while running around here, to be fair. But I think he lost a couple of. He had 2 performances, 3 rides last weekend. I think Executive Search should have won this race. He was being overly cute with him, getting jammed up on the inside. Similar thing happened with the horse that Banner horse.
Banner.
The last
Lofty Banner.
Lofty Banner, where he wouldn't have won, but he cost him. But then Mark Scapone won on Saturday because he gave him such a great ride. But this is one where he gets jammed up in the pocket, and you'll see as they go around the turn, when Stud Muffin, who's sitting behind them, when Ramon makes that easy sweep, and you'll see in the next race too, sometimes the sweep is a lot better than sticking around inside and getting jammed up.
Well, this is a typical kind of mistake that the young riders make here. You think the inner track, it's obviously a track that favors the inside. The trainers put you on there to save ground and get some weight off here. And in his mind, he's doing the right thing here, whereas he really should be looking to tip out 3 wide in this spot here and have a clear run through the stretch. And by the time Executive Search actually gets into gear, the winner of the race, Stud Muffin's already had a couple lengths of head start on him.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's going on here. He's totally jammed up behind horses, and Stud Muffin's out in the clear and rolling by. And then he gets through and he splits horses, but the horse is still a little intimidated going through, and he has some trouble getting through. And it's not, I mean, you watch him there, he's supposed to be if he was on the outside, he would have accelerated by Be Bullish. And it takes a while. Once he finally sort of gets himself himself going on the inside. He's actually running back at Stud Muffin. Executive Search should have won this race. And you're right. It's not, we're not trying to be unfair. Serpent's a good rider. And it's also instructions. People who ride bug riders, they're concerned about weight, they're concerned about saving ground. It's a sort of a sheep player's mentality, which, whether it's right or wrong, I'm not criticizing it, but they tell these riders to save ground, and they're being told to save ground. He's doing what he's told. But saving ground comes with problems. It's very nice when it works out, but it can also get you into a jackpot.
One more race to bring you on Trips and Traps this week. We'll take a look at the 5th from January 10th. And we're looking at the 6 Crafty Mark and the 7 Western Deed, who comes out a little slowly.
Yeah, Western Deed finishes 2nd. Crafty Mark finishes 3rd. And you could argue that either one of them could have won this race. They were both much better than the winner. Marina Market gets a very nice ride from Orlando Boca Chica, but he's very, very much helped when the 4-horse, Mr. Dr. Professor, who had real speed in sprint races, stretching out in this race, for some reason is just dramatically rated here. Had he got on with the lead, the finish would have been 6-7 or 7-6. The 6 should have won this race. See, the 6 is like too wide going in the turn in the blue silks. You'll see in between horses. Ramon takes Western Deed back to last in the rail. What happens with Crafty Mark is another situation of a horse sitting on the inside, getting jammed up, and letting others sweep by him. And by the time they've swept by him and he angles on the outside, it's too late.
Yeah, they are highlighted toward the back again as we see Marina Market enjoying a fairly comfortable lead. Personally, I had thought that the horse sitting 2nd right now, JJ's Prophet, might be able to put more pressure on Marina Market, not even including, Mr. Dr. Professor in the mix, but it doesn't work out. And, here we have our 2 horses that we're looking at, Western Deed and Crafty Mark, simply up against it here, and, just horses that are going to be up against the dynamics of the race.
Right. I think in fairness to CC Lopez, who rode Crafty Mark, I think, like a lot of us, he thought there was more pace in this race, so he thought he was rating a horse because he didn't want to get embroiled in some sort of fast situation up front. It didn't happen. I can't criticize him for that at all. It just happens that Mr. Dr. Professor is never even close to the lead in this race. I don't know why you try to stretch him out and not at least try to get the lead. They went to happen 48 and change in here. They were hardly moving along. And Crafty Mark's just not really sort of keeping up back there. He's sort of rating him down the inside in the blue. Western Deed will end up making the move outside of him as he is right now, but Ramon realizes I have to get Western Deed going. He makes the sort of wide sweep. Watch Crafty Mark going inside.
Crafty Mark goes inside, and then the jockey realizes there's not going to be any room there, so Chucky Lopez has to take Crafty Mark to the outside here. That no doubt cost him, a couple lengths there, and then he's just kind of following Western Deed around the turn.
Right, now he's 2 lengths behind him. If he had somehow gotten outside and made the move earlier, he would have been ahead of him maybe. Western Deed might have had to go around him.
And he was in front of him in the backstretch, too.
Right, exactly. So it becomes a disaster situation. I don't think you can blame CC because the race didn't develop up front the way it looked like it was going to on paper, but it's a hard situation. Now, you've also got a situation with Crafty Deed, or Western Deed, where he's lugging in badly for Ramon, and towards the end, as he sort of drifts towards the winner, I think Ramon had trouble really riding him. He wasn't winning anyway. They both ran well. The 2nd and 3rd finishers should have finished 1-2 in this race.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fair pace, no doubt. Marina Market probably 3rd at best in there.
On the other hand, Marina Market's had his days when things haven't gone so well for him, so I guess he got sort of repaid early this year for a lot of trips, like last time when the race was so competitive up front. Anyhow, that does it for this week's Trips and Traps. As always, we appreciate your watching. We love hearing from you. Trips and Traps at NYRAInc.com, and we'll see you next week.